Assalamu alaikum. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to discuss Module 6, Unit 9, the causative. As usual, please bring your activity book, a pen or pencil, your notebook, and I'll be waiting for you if you don't have them ready with you. Go get them and come back to me, please. So, you ready now? Okay, our lesson is on page 69 of your activity book. Let's start. So before we discuss what's in the book, let's discuss the word causative. What is a causative sentence? If you remember, at the beginning of the year, we discussed different types of sentences. And we said that we can categorize sentences in different ways. One way was to look at the subject. And we said if you wanted to talk about different types of sentences according to their subject, we have the active sentence that has an active subject, which is the doer. And we have a passive sentence which has a passive subject, which is usually the receiver. And finally, we mentioned the causative sentence, where the subject is neither the doer nor the receiver, but only a cause for the action. So let's read from the slide in front of you. We use the causative to talk about actions we caused to happen. So we did not do the actions and we did not receive the actions. We caused them to happen. That is, someone did something for us because we asked him or her or them to do it. As such, the subject of the causative sentence caused the action to happen, but is not the actual doer of the action. Maybe the subject paid money or asked someone or even persuaded them to do that action for them. Look at the following sentences and try to find the relationship between the subject and the main verb. For example, I can say, I cleaned my house. I is the subject, cleaned is the verb. What is this? What kind of relationship is this? What does the sentence mean? It means that I cleaned it myself. I cleaned the house myself. And this is an active sentence because the subject is actually the doer of the action. If I paid someone to clean it, of course, I can say, a cleaner cleaned my house. Here again, the cleaner, which is the subject, cleaned my house. Cleaned is the verb. The cleaner is the doer of the cleaning. So this sentence means that the cleaner cleaned the house, and this is an active sentence as well. But another way is to use a causative construction. If I want to say that I paid someone to clean the house, I can say, I had my house cleaned. When I say I had my house cleaned, it does not mean the same thing as I cleaned my house. The first sentence says I cleaned, so I did the cleaning. The third sentence says I had my house cleaned. That means I did not do the cleaning, but I made somebody else do it for me. So I here in this third sentence, I had my house cleaned. I is the cause and not the doer. Notice that we don't focus on who did the cleaning, but on the person who caused the cleaning to happen. That's the subject. And this is a causative sentence. Let's look at how we form the causative. The causative is formed by using the verb have, followed by the object, and then we have the past participle. And usually people refer to this as have something done. Have is the verb, something is the object, and done is the main verb in the past participle. So we usually use have something done when we are talking about paying someone to do something for us. It's often used for services. The form is subject plus have plus object plus past participle. Let me get my magic wand so we can go over the, okay. Let's go over the sentence. I had my car washed. I is the subject, but I did not do the washing. I actually paid someone or asked someone to clean my car for me. So I is the cause. Had is verb have. My car is the object, and washed is the past participle or verb to be. Notice the second sentence. John is the subject, will have his house painted. Will have, this is verb have. His house is the object. Painted is the past participle. Notice that have can come in the past or it can come in the future. It can come in any tense that we learned before. So let's move on to the following. The causative can be used in different tenses. So when we say that the causative is made of have plus object plus past participle, this have can come in all different tenses. It can come in the past or the present continuous, present perfect, the past perfect, all of them. Let's take a look. The causative can come in all tenses, but you have to pay attention that have, the verb have, is the one that applies the tenses. Notice that the main verb always comes after the object and it is fixed. It's always verb 3 and it's always after the object. The have, the verb have, comes before the subject, before the object, and it is the one that applies all of the tenses. Let's take a look. She has the reports written every week. Notice, let me get my magic wand again. Okay, notice she is the subject, it's the cause. Has is in the simple present. The reports is the object. And written is the past participle, it's always fixed. How do I know that this sentence is in the simple present? By looking at the verb have. Verb have is in the simple present, so this sentence is in the simple present. Let's move on. She is having the reports written now. Notice here, the verb have came in the present continuous, is plus ing, is having. So this is a present continuous causative sentence. Again, notice that the main verb comes after the object and it is always fixed. It's always in verb 3, in the form of verb 3. Okay. She has had the reports written already. Has plus verb 3, has had. This is the present perfect. She has been having the reports written for a year now. Has been having, this is the present perfect continuous. Of course, this is a very awkward sentence. We don't use the present perfect continuous with the causative very often. But again, it is possible, it is applicable. I just want to show you that all tenses can be used with the causative. She had the reports written. Here, what is the tense of the sentence? It's the simple past. How do I know? By looking at the verb have, which is here in the form of had, the simple past. She was having the reports written then. Was plus ing. This is the past continuous. Again, notice we apply the tense to verb have. Simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous, simple past, past continuous, past perfect, had. She had had the reports written before 1992. Had is the past perfect. Of course, we can also use have with models to talk about the future or sometimes ability or possibility. But here we used, I gave you an example with will and going to. She will have the reports written, or she is going to have the reports written. I hope that you get this. This is a very important point because we can use the positive in different tenses. So now you have to use your knowledge of the tenses that you studied before. And when you read the sentence, you have to guess what tense to apply in the positive. Notice we used simple present because of every week, present continuous because of now, present perfect already, present perfect continuous for a year now, yesterday, then at a certain time, before 1992, tomorrow and tomorrow to indicate the future. Write these down in your notebooks and study them. So now let's try to make some positive sentences together. I'm going to read the sentence and I want you to think very hard of how we might form a positive sentence for this situation. So, her sister asked the architect to design the building last year. I need to see who is the cause, and I need to see what was the action that was caused. So I see here that the sister is the one who asked, so she's the cause. Her sister must be the subject. And what did she cause? What did she ask for? She asked for the architect to design. Design is the main verb. Okay, what tense is this sentence? She asked the architect to design the building last year. This must be in the simple past. So let's take a look at the answer. Her sister had the building designed. Her sister had the building designed. Had is verb have in the simple past. The building is the object which received the action. And designed is the main verb, which is always fixed in the verb before. Let's look at the second sentence. She is going to pay the lady to clean the windows. So what is happening here? The main idea is cleaning the windows. So the verb is clean. And of course the object is windows. But who caused this, or who will cause this to happen? She. So she is the subject of the positive, and the main verb is clean, and the object is windows. But what tense do we use for this sentence? Notice that the original sentence says, she is going to pay, going to. So this is the future with going to. Let's look at the answer. She is going to have the windows cleaned. I hope that this is clear. Number 3, my father has persuaded my uncle to fix the fridge. He is working on it as we speak. He's working on it now. He, of course, refers to my uncle because we're talking about him working on it. So, who is the cause in this sentence? The cause is my father. He's the one who persuaded my uncle. My uncle is the doer, but he's not the subject of the causative sentence. So my father is the subject. What did my father cause? He caused the fixing. So fix is the main idea or the main verb. And what is the object? The fridge. And what is the tense of this sentence? It says, he is working on it now. So I have to use the present continuous. So I apply the present continuous to have, and the answer is, my father is having the fridge fixed. I hope that this is clear. Notice that we apply the tense to verb have. Here we needed the simple past, so we used had. Here we needed is going to plus verb, so we said is going to have. And here we needed the present continuous, so we used is having. In your book, they mentioned that we can use get and want in the causative as well. So let's just treat them. We can also use get instead of have in a causative sentence. So we can say subject plus get plus object plus past participle. All the rules and all of the applications we discussed about have apply to get. What does this mean, or what is the difference? Actually, there is no difference. Using get is the same as using have. They mean the same thing. But usually we use get in less formal situations. So let's look at this sentence. The students get their essays checked. We can easily say the students have their essays checked. Notice the second one. I will get my haircut next week. I will get my haircut next week. And I can say, I will have my haircut next week. Both are correct. We can also use want instead of have in a causative sentence. So the form would be subject plus want plus object plus past participle. Again, all of the rules and all of the applications we discussed concerning have are applicable to the verb forms. But what is the difference? What is the difference between want and have? Want gives the meaning of wanting something to be done. So you want something to be done, but you don't necessarily ask for it or do it or pay someone or persuade someone to do it. So here the sentence is, I want my house repainted. What does that mean? It means that I want my house to be repainted. I want that, but I didn't ask for it yet. When I ask for it, I can say, I have my house, or if I ask for it and it happens, I can say, I had my house repainted. Notice the second sentence. I wanted my suit cleaned. I wanted my suit cleaned. That is, I wished for it to be cleaned, but I didn't ask, but that's what I wanted. We can also say, what is the difference between I had my suit cleaned and I wanted my suit cleaned? I had my suit cleaned means it's done. Somebody actually cleaned it for me. But when I say I wanted my suit cleaned, it seems that I wanted it, but it didn't happen because I didn't ask anyone and nobody volunteered. Usually I have a problem with my students. At a certain point, they start mixing up causative and passive. So I'm taking this time to explain the similarities and the differences between the causative and the passive. The causative and the passive are similar. How are they similar? They are similar in that they both do not focus on who did the action. So look at sentence 1. I say, Ahmed had the house cleaned. Ahmed is the cause. House is the receiver or the object. But where's the doer? There's no doer. The person who did the cleaning is unknown. More importantly, the person is not important. I can say Ahmed had the house cleaned by the clean lady. So by the clean lady would be the doer. But again, the doer is not important. Number 2 is a passive sentence. The house was cleaned. Again, the subject is not the doer, it's the receiver here. And where's the doer? The doer is unknown or unimportant. Again, I can say the house was cleaned by the lady. By the lady would be the doer. But whether I mention the doer or not, the doer is not the main focus of attention. You know that the focus of attention is always the subject. So when I focus on the cause or I focus on the receiver in the causative sentence or in the passive sentence, that means I am not focusing on who did the action. So this is the similarity. This is how they're the same. However, the causative and the passive are not the same. They are similar, but they are not exactly the same. Why? Again, we said Ahmed had the house cleaned. Here, the causative focuses on the person who caused the action. When I say the house was cleaned, notice that the passive sentence focuses on the receiver of the action. And so the causative focuses on the cause, the passive focuses on the receiver. This is a very important difference. But we also have to pay attention, not just to the meaning, we can also pay attention to the form, because the passive and the causative are formed differently. The causative verb is made up of the verb have, in the past or the present or the present perfect or whatever, plus the object, and then the verb 3 that comes after it. These are examples. Ahmed had the house cleaned. Ahmed is having the house cleaned. Ahmed will have the house cleaned. All of these are positive sentences that have a positive verb made of have, object, verb 3. Have, object, verb 3. Have, object, verb 3. How about the passive? The passive verb is made up of verb be followed by a verb 3. There's no object in the middle, and verb be can come with other helping verbs as well. But it's always followed by verb 3. Let's look. This is in the simple past, the causative in the simple past. This is the simple past in the passive. The house was cleaned, verb be followed by verb 3. The house is being cleaned, verb be followed by verb 3. And here we have helping verbs for verb be. The house will have been cleaned. Again, be followed by verb 3. And before be here we have helping verbs. So we might have helping verbs or we might have just be and verb 3 alone. I don't need to focus on the passive now because I think we gave the passive a very rigorous exercise when we took it. I think we did a great job. I think most of you, all of you know the passive really well. So I don't want to waste time on the passive, and I want to go back to the positive. So, guess what? Yes, you guessed right. It's quiz time. And as usual, when we move to the next slide, please stop the video, write down the sentences, give yourselves 5 minutes to solve them, then come back for the answers. So, complete the sentences using the correct form of have something done, and the words in brackets. All of these 5 sentences should be written in the form of have plus object plus verb 3. Have something done. Take the time to write the sentences down and then come back to me with your solutions, please. Okay, hope you stop the video and try to do these on your own. Let's do them together now. So when I want to look at the first sentence, we usually, the bedrooms redecorate every 2 years. Notice that I need to use redecorate as the main verb, the verb 3 after the object. The bedrooms is the object. And I just have to use verb have in the correct tense. What is the correct tense of verb have with every 2 years? Every 2 years takes, simple present. So the right answer to this should be, we usually have the bedrooms redecorated. This is the answer. We usually have the bedrooms redecorated every 2 years. Sarah isn't making her own wedding dress. It made by a designer in Italy. So here again, I want to talk about she as the cause, and it is the dress. She's going to make the dress, but she's not going to make it herself. She wants that designer to make it for her. So again, here, we want to use the causative. And in what tense? Isn't making is the present continuous. So we're going to use the present continuous here. She is having it made. She is having it made by a designer in Italy. I hope you got this right. He didn't fix his car himself. It fixed at the garage. So he didn't fix is in the simple past. I need to use the simple past here. And what I do is apply the simple past to verb be. So he had it fixed. This is the answer to this sentence. He had it fixed in the garage, at the garage. Okay, again, moving on. I will do my food shopping online. I will do my food shopping online. And I, the food deliver. How can I answer this? I will have the food delivered. How about the last sentence? If you can't see properly, you should your eyes test. Of course, you don't test your own eyes. You go to someone and ask them to test your eyes. So you should. And what do we use after should? We use the base form. The base form of have is have. You should have your eyes tested. I hope you got these right, and I hope you understand the lesson. Again, as usual, if you don't understand anything, please let me know. You You can ask me anytime on the WhatsApp. Your homework, activity book, page 49, exercise 2, 3, 4. Please okay. Please do your homework and enjoy the homework. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.